In this video, we will be discussing modules and how to take modules and store customized functions and reuse them for many other source programs. A module is a file that contains Python code. Large programs are easier to debug and maintain when they are divided into modules. So we're going to store functions into modules. That is, those functions that we've created in one program, we can take them and place them in a separate program and then import them into the files that need them. In large complex programs, it is important to keep code organized. Modularization means we're grouping related functions in modules, and it makes it easier to understand the program, test it, and maintain it. It makes it easier to reuse code for multiple different programs. So our goal is to import that module containing the required functions to each program that needs it. And in that way, you don't have to keep writing the same functions over and over or copying them from one place to another. You place them in one central program and then import them into all the programs that need them. And once again, we said that a module is a file that contains Python code. It contains functions, definitions, but it does not have the calls to the functions. So we're going to import those programs that will call those functions. In other words, we're going to have one file. This is our source. We'll just say the source code. I'll just put on here source. So we'll have the total purchase main module. It will be the source code that contains the main function, which calls all the functions. That's basically what is going to happen. I'll make this look a little bit longer here. This program is just going to contain functions, no calls. Contains all functions, but no calls to the functions. And so here we're going to place an import statement here. Let's just put this over here. And this is going to import the functions from this file to that file. Now, both of the files are Python modules. One contains all the functions and the other one contains the call to the functions. And we will demonstrate this momentarily. So this will be importing the functions from the file containing all the functions. We'll make this a little bit larger so you can see what I'm writing. I'll make this a little bit darker so you all can see that a little bit better. So once again, let me just reiterate what I was saying earlier. We're going to have a special module that contains function definition but does not contain calls to the functions. We'll be importing the programs. All those importing programs will call that function. Now the rules for the module names that contains all those functions is going to have the same file names, and it will end the same file names as the source code. It will end with a .py, but they cannot be the same as the Python keywords. We're going to import the module using the import statement, and we will have some explicit examples momentarily. So we're going to be importing customized functions. The primary objective is to separate the frequently used functions from a main program and place them inside another customized function. It makes it easier to reuse the functions in other files. We're going to tell you step by step how to do this. First, we're going to cut all the functions except the main function from the source code. We're going to place them inside a new Python file name. We're going to call this first name, last name, my custom functions. And then after we do that, we're going to, and let me just take this off here so we can be consistent. We're going to make sure that our main source program containing the main function and this new file name are stored in the same folder. And the next step, the third step, is in the source code program containing the main function with all the calls to these functions. We're going to type the following above the def main function. We're going to say from last name underscore first name my custom functions import star. Do not include the .py extension Python because Python already knows that it is a Python program, and then we will run the program to make sure everything works. Okay, so let's do this step by step. Okay, here is the source program that we were working on earlier, the total purchases. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy, and we can even include the to fix. It doesn't really matter. Let's take all these functions. To be on the safe side, you may want to just copy them first and then remove them. So the first step is we're going to, number one, copy all the functions except the main function. Copy that, click File, New File, and now we're going to paste all these functions inside of this new program. It's going to be a Python module or program. We're going to call it File, save as, your last name, first name, my custom functions. Make sure we spell everything correct. This is so important. So last name underscore first name underscore my custom functions. It's going to be more than one function. So what did we just do? We just created a Python module or program that contains all the functions that we may be reusing. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 of those. At the end of this program, what we're going to do is just say in the customized function program. Okay, so we'll save that. Next, let's go back to our main source program. That was my sample total purchases that had functions. We're going to remove all of these functions, those subfunctions. The only function we're going to have in this program is main. So what we're going to do is we're going to import the customized functions to this program from last name underscore first name underscore my custom functions import star. What this does is allows us to import all the functions that are associated in here that we will be using. And that's what the star means, anything. Furthermore, if we do it in this manner, we do not have to specify the function name and associate it with the actual function. So this is an easier way to go about that. Okay, let's see if this works. So we have two files. The one on the left side of this screen is the last name, first name, sample total purchase functions file, RV or revise. The one on the right contains the customized functions. And you notice that when I did from last name, first name, my custom, I didn't put the .py. Now, please do not do that. The program already knows that it is a uh, module for Python. It's a Python program. We're going to click run, and we'll just put in some values. I'll just put some large values in here. And we're going to store this as, we'll say last name, first name, total purchases, customized function output. And let's see what it does. Okay, if there was a problem, it would have told us that these different functions that are in here that we are referencing are not defined. But what the program did was it went to this program, it imported all the functions that we're utilizing, like check float, data type, add prices, calculate average, and create output. Last but not least, write the purchase results. So the program knew to go there. And let's see what it looks like in the file. It created this output file, and it has a my cache. So it knew to take what was in the original program, which is this one right here. But this one and this one communicated with each other. And through here, the computer created this and connected those two files together so that they would work properly together. And we'll put both of them up here at the same time. What's the advantage to this? Well, when you look at your source code, you do not see the instructions that are associated with carrying out the functions. All this program is doing is calling all the functions, but the functions are defined in another file. The advantage, the major advantage, is that if I create another program that needs check data type or adding some values together, it's here, and we can reference and use these existing functions. That's what makes it important. So by the time you finish, you're going to have three different files: the main program that has all the calling statements here, the functions by themselves, and then the final output.